Hey everybody, welcome to Callaway Talks. I'm Harry Arnett, and you know who this guy is. This is Alan Hocknell. He be the man in charge of R&D, and today we're going to, I don't know how you do your job, because my job, I just sort of wing it as I go along. You know, like we don't even know what we're going to do one day to the next. You can't do that, especially when it comes to irons, because it takes a long time to make an iron.
It takes a lot of planning, yeah.
And we sort of set the distance standard this year with X hot irons. And then we got to do that again with the X2 hot irons. Yeah. So, and again, I know the answer before I even ask it, which is what did you do to change it? And I know the answer is you changed everything. Yeah. So what exactly, how would you describe the magic of the X2 hot iron, which is this little bad boy right here?
You know, funnily enough, it starts with a fair bit of kind of soul searching. I'm not talking about the soul of the club. I'm talking about the
well, I just could see you guys in R&D out there on the street, walking down the street, you know, aimlessly, like looking up at the sky with your little. So that's what we're on,
it's
right?
like what do we hold dear to? You know, our design tenets, if you like. What are they? And are we holding it onto any of them incorrectly in the modern era? So let's get out a white piece of paper and start again. And in order to get to the kind of level of performance we're talking about here, that was exactly the right approach, I think. And through a pretty exhaustive process, we've come up with this, and the key ingredients in this, and there are really a few of them, but the ones that are most essential are that this has a deep central undercut, and that's a name of a feature in the head that really means that the face stays really thin nearly all the way to the ground. And that's important for ball speed. If we can make the face thin nearly all the way to the ground, then we're adding ball speed pretty much to the whole face, but particularly to the lower part of the face where average golfers tend to make the most contact. Once you've got that kind of level of ball speed, though, you have to be careful. Some bad things can start to happen. You can start to get instability in the face, and we don't want that, because that leads to inconsistent distance. You know, what I mean is that impact locations for two shots that might only vary by a very small amount on the face could produce vastly different distance results. You don't want that. You want to hit a reliable long distance, not just an unreliable long distance.
Yes, right.
So we've got a way to stabilize this face, and that's what this arch does here. This arch is a face stabilizer.
That does something. See,
it does.
All this time I just thought it was there because it looked really
Did it look pretty? It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
No. This is the result of countless computer models, and we tried many different configurations. So you're actually looking at a part of the back of the face, and it's connected to the top line here, and it divides the face up into certain zones, and it stiffens the face in just the right areas, just enough so that we get stability in the face as well as high ball speed. It's a really important feature in the design of the head overall.
Well, I can tell the shape has actually changed as well from where we've been.
Yep. Once you've got those two features there in place, it actually gives you a lot of latitude to change your other design rules. So in terms of head shape, the contours of this head represent probably the biggest change in an X iron that maybe Callaway has had in a decade. Because we've been able to open up the cavity, and now you see more of the technology in the back of the face. So gone is the 360-degree undercut that made our cavities look kind of enclosed, and we've opened it up and replaced a lot of straight lines and edges with a series of curves that really add to the aesthetic of the club, but they also have the purpose of changing the mass properties. They move the center of gravity to a new location, and they change the turf interaction as well and improve it, obviously.
Well, it really just looks like it's going to go far and is forgiving.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's true. It just looks like it would.
That is very true. So this club plays about a half a club longer even than the club that it replaces, the X Hot of this year. And it does so with better feel than this year's club. So we think we've improved, obviously, in many dimensions, including the way that it looks. You know, this is a really exciting look of a golf club. It's very contemporary, but it is absolutely packed with performance.
All right, so you guys are going to hate me again for saying this, and I know I get in trouble because I say outrageous things. So this is my opinion. In my opinion, the best iron in 2013 from anybody, you ready, was the X Hot Pro. And and I know that's just for me, it was, because it sounded awesome. It was really, really long.
Yeah.
It looked great, and it just had like that total performance, like Nirvana.
I think it had a surprise value to it as well. People didn't expect it to be as long as it was, yet still have the kind of control and workability characteristics that you get in a better players club. So that was a very special kind of arrangement of the design of the head. So beating that one, tall order.
Well, I know that you guys must have been in there in R&D thinking, we got to come up with an iron that can knock, the X-Hot Pro out of Harry's bag. I mean, it had to be what you guys were talking about.
Had you as the consumer
yes,
on the wall.
Exactly. So what happened here? How'd you do it?
So we took some of the thoughts that we had in the standard iron. So we have an area of the face that's thinner than before, but it's stabilized by the arch. Clearly, it's a different configuration than the standard iron. It's a slimmer iron in the front-back dimension, consistent with the kind of looks that better players are after. It doesn't have really much in the way of an overt cavity, so that's a better player characteristic. It has a shorter blade length than we've had before, more consistent with our X-forged irons, say, than other irons.
People are going to love that because you're going to be able to really, get a lot of workability out of the short irons.
Yeah, we changed the offset profile through the set so that by the time you get to the shorter irons, it's more consistent with, say, our forged wedges, and that's a good trade. We're just really thinking about more advanced players who still want some game improvement advantages, obviously in ball speed and forgiveness, but don't want them to be quite so overt, on the design of the head, and yet still then produce control, workability through turf interaction and the other characteristics of the CG position that really help people shot make. That's one of the great thrills of the game, is to be able to make shots, make shots happen in any circumstance.
Shot maker.
And there's a bit of that in here, and I think that's great.
So that's the X-Hot iron, the X2 Hot iron, the X2 Hot Pro iron, coming in January 16th. Go make sure you hit these. Don't just take our word for it. Go hit them. We know you're going to find that everything he just told you is absolutely 100% certifiably true. So go play them in January. Alan, once again, keep them coming, because the distance standard, I think, is even better and better.
Yeah, we're really excited about these. From what we've seen in player testing already, we're absolutely thrilled with them. So I think when golfers get a chance to get their hands on them at Diamond Bays and Fit Bays, they're going to see all the benefits right in front of them.
Alan's telling it to you, it must be true. X2 Hot Irons, January 16th.